นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมพุทธายะนะโมธัมมายะนะโมสังฆายะ So hello to all of you across the world. It is now 1:14. The time just moved back 1 hour. Wait, forward 1 hour. So that means it went back 1 hour. So we have an extra hour of sleep. Um, I haven't gone live, I think, 3 weeks. So that's quite alarming for those who have been following me because, oh, I forgot to hit my other one. Okay. Um, so it's been 3 weeks since I've gone live, and historically, so I've been a monk for 10 years, and over the past seven or 8 years of going live on social media, it has been nonstop, like either every day and then every other day, there would be live videos streaming to teach the teachings of the Buddha to all of you. However, after the hurricane hit, the chronological timeline was I had to go to Arizona and then California once and then twice, back and forth. And as I was returning back to Florida, the two hurricanes hit Florida. As a direct result of the hurricane, I was engaging with the public a lot. I was out and about filming what was happening, and got sick, got an infection, was in and out of the hospital twice, and I'm still on a course of medicine. So I'm happy to be here with all of you. Today is a very jubilant day as I am declaring the lion's roar under this school. Not the version of the Buddha's lion's roar, my version of the lion's roar. And today we're going to talk about that and what that means for all of us. So first and foremost, my dad is the year of the tiger lion. I mean, they just look the same to me. I'm not a zoologist, so I can't tell you, the key big difference between the two because I'm a monk, not a zoologist. But anyways, so here we have a lion. Um, and for those who are interested in the Buddha's lion's roar discourse, there are many short discourses on YouTube where you can tune in to hear the details of the lion's roar. Somebody gifted this to me, and it is supremely heavy, but it's very detailed. I'm thinking in my head, because I don't know what it represents and whether or not a statue like this exists in the world. I've traveled quite a bit, but I've never seen a statue like this. Perhaps it could be a statue that exists probably in China or Hong Kong. It's pretty cool. However, I'm going to use this as a statue to signify and symbolizes my lion's roar under School of Tri Dao. That's because in the details of the grip, well, because there's nowhere to grip, so I'm just going to call this the grip. There's a dragon right here, right? And I would assume these are clouds. It just looks like it to me. I'm not an art expert either. And then on top of here, we have a lion. Aha. So it's pretty cool. Someone gifted this at the right time, and they knew that a lion's roar was going to be declared soon. And of course, underneath here, you got faces of lions also. Look like it. Anyways, so it's not real gold. It's I don't know what it's made of, but it's just lacquered or painted over. I don't know. The lion's roar comes after 10 years of being a monk, and so much progress has been made. I'm going to put this down so it doesn't distract you guys. Lion's roar comes from years of doing this, and while everything permits with the causes and conditions and everything that's going in the world and our economy and everything else like that, it's just good to declare lion's roar right about now, because the start of the celebration will start now. with all of the students and returning students, and just so much joy over the past couple of weeks of encountering some of you in the midst of me trying to heal and trying to yield to my body. And it was just very different trying to heal from it all, from the hurricane, from the collective depression in the city, encountering with the public, doing counseling sessions, meeting new people. It was just hectic, always, right? School of Chi Dao, always 200 miles an hour. And so I just felt that it was appropriate. Something in my gut tells me you should declare your lion's roar now. Now's the right time to do it. And so here we are. And something also tell me, as you all could remember, as I went live in California, in some of the most beautiful beaches, Long Beach, San Francisco, Golden Gate. I was everywhere, up and down California twice in a car, traveling in a car. And out of all those beautiful scenery in 84,000 teachings, I decided to tell you all. Oh, and by the way, I dragged some of these out. These are the guide to the study of the suttas right here. It's huge. It's not huge, but just a lot. Very detailed. So 84,000 teachings can be traced in these little tiny books, and these tiny books, they're like it points the way, like whatever you want to deal with, anger, sadness, depression, defilement, kilesas, asavas, 7 factors of enlightenment, 4 noble truths, impermanence, suffering, non-self. It's all in here. So out of all the things that I could choose to say and teach in those moments of beautiful scenery in California, I decided to tell you all it's really nice out here, and it only takes one hurricane to ruin everything in Florida. Right? Something told me to tell you that. And I also said it only takes one earthquake. Of course, then I leave California, and there was like 2 earthquakes that took place, 4.9. Darren told me, he like kind of like slept through one of them and didn't realize what happened until he woke up. So so there are monks out there that have special power. I don't claim to have special power. Today's about you guys, not me. But that's an amazing feeling to have, a gift to have. That's something, I don't know, maybe my gut has a second brain where it tells me you should say these things in front of the camera, and you should do it now. And that I did. So now I'm declaring the lion's roar. And as you all are aware, in the next couple of months, I am anticipating the arrival of a very special 31-year-old Rinpoche from the Vajrayana tradition, of which I have adjudicated that he has the mind. He's very enlightening to me. And that is through a lot of scientific metric systems that is set in place for me to make such adjudication and justification for all of you to know and to trust my judgment and to trust my adjudication and the way how I adjudicate and the way how I judge, which is judging means assessing and evaluating such human to be that belongs to the office of the wise and has control over the body of knowledge of wisdom, and that wisdom uttered to all of you in his presence, in my presence, both of us in the month of January and February, could in fact lead you to enlightenment quite fairly quickly. That's exactly what you all want. You all told me that. And based upon my own independent research, that's what I know about all of you in the West, is that you want quick enlightenment. So part of my program, which I've never said before, and now will made visible to all of you, is called the Monastic Surveillance Program. So the Monastic Surveillance Program is a program where I have a very keen particular eye in profiling monks across the world. Monks who are visible, who make themselves visible, who have demonstrated teachings, but it's not just their teachings that goes to the evaluative process and adjudication process. I have to encounter with them. I have to talk with them. Um, I have to kind of look at their background information, chronological timeline. Everything has to be done with evidence and empirical evidence based, and also talk to their teachers if that is applicable and available at that time. Um, some of you may have caught glimpses of this when I had my eyeballs on two monks. One of them was Venerable Johnny Suksamite, who passed away due to COVID. Um, my world shattered in pieces when Venerable Suksamite passed away because he was just a stellar individual. I'm sorry, I'm trying to record on my. You guys give me 1 second, real quick. Okay, this is part 2 for the TikTok 10-minute thing. Venerable Suksamite story was amazing because he lost his parents, particularly had with his mom, where he posted pictures often. He has demonstrated clearly that he studied very hard to understand English and to communicate effectively with me. There were pictures of him leading hundreds and hundreds of kids in walking meditation, both lay and monastic novices. He's just proven himself over the years within the monastic surveillance program that he is somebody that we need here in the United States to lead us, to help with us, to share his wisdom with us at such a very young age, like 24 years old. I had high regards and keen respect for Venerable Suksamite. So when he passed away all of a sudden due to COVID, I was in a very deep sense of sadness and did not display or show that to the world and kept it very silent and quiet and utilizing the teachings of karma and realized that his time was up. His merits have expired. At the same time, I was keeping my eye on Venerable Lucky, who I believe we've got to talk a couple of times over the Zoom situation, but you all were only able to hear his voice and not see because I'm not going to some of these things. Nor was there funding that existed at the time to pay for Zoom paid accounts because Zoom can do that. Zoom can record and do all these things for publishing. So Venerable Lucky has disrobed, but he's still here, alive, well, conscious, and breathing normally, and is a photographer and working in the hospitality industry in Laos. He's very busy, and somewhere down the line, if funding exists, I'd like to invite him to the United States to talk about his 8-9 years of monastic experience, as he also worked very hard to be able to communicate with all of us and to teach English in Laos. Something about these Laos monks that just impresses me. Something about them. And now comes the third monk that captured my attention. However, I'm withholding his identity at this time. Just because people just want things handed to them and freely, and just enjoy free. And some people use this as entertainment purposes. So, right now, at the time of this talk, I have communicated with my students who are within my programs, students who are now considered intermediate level students and on their way to being advanced practitioners. And we are raising funding for His Eminence to be here. And I'm just super excited because we all can use that. We all can use something to look forward to amongst what is happening in the world and with election season at the time of this talk. And that's how profound his sentences uttered orally to all of us. Nonetheless, being in his presence, nonetheless, being in the car, traveling with him, anticipating he's going to be here, anticipating sitting in the car with him. just all of the anticipation that I have in mind sitting with him, um, and bringing him to you guys. Is either we're coming into you, or we're going to hold a public place where it is convenient for all of us to meet. It is an event of a lifetime. I can tell you all that. So my students have looked at the science, and they're going to commit $200 every 2 weeks. It looks like every 2 weeks in my phone here. And so right now, for those of you, and I know that there's a teacher 2 hours north of Miami who also reached out and was interested. So those who wants to know more information about that, you can call me directly, or you can start making your contributions and donations towards that cause and effect. And that, that it will capture my attention very quickly. Um, if you could also put in for Rinpoche or for Tibet monk, um, so that I know, because I can't use novice money for a Rinpoche, and I can't use Rinpoche's money for novice programs. Everything is dissected and compartmentalized and organized in a manner so that I can answer to the people. I've made it very visible with the finances, because that's where most people get themselves into trouble, is finances. So therefore, my program and whatever's going on needs to be visible, apparent, transparent to all of you, to ensure trust, purity, and integrity order, and its representatives that is involved. Um, so and so the amount of funding that comes in determines how long he will be here. Um, and you all know that I cannot ask anything but a cup of water. I cannot ask you all for money. Cannot, will not ask you for that. I didn't even ask for medicine when I was sick over the past couple of weeks, and that was allowable by Vinayak law and rules. And even though insurance didn't want to pay for certain medicine, that's what prolonged my suffering for so long. And I've yet to address that. So we just have to wait at the right time to address certain inequality and injustice in this country, and how the insurance company is a $4 trillion industry, and yet patients typically don't really benefit from it. That's a different talk, different day. Going back to the lion's roar, is that what a great, tremendous, made possible by like all of you who are sitting and watching, who have been following me for so long. And I realized that some of you just took a little bit of time to warm up to me. That means you all needed years of observations of this young teacher to also make your own adjudication, make your own judgment, evaluation, and um, evaluation and impressions. So it was just fun over the past couple of weeks. It's been a lot of fun encountering some of you coming back to the program, new to the program, listening to my talks. There are like 2,000 videos on YouTube, and there are I don't know if there's 2,000 on YouTube. I can't only imagine how much is on TikTok, because of 2019, I believe. Um, and all of this was made possible by through your comments. All of this, the whole journey of inspiration, was made possible by all of you. A joint collective effort from the viewers, supporters, donors, students, to buying through your curiosity, buying through your trust, buying through your actions, spoke louder than words. You all are the lion's roar. So just imagine the MGM lion, here in Hollywood, where we make videos here in the United States. Remember the lion's roar? That's all of you. All of you who have contributed to this program. That's what you've done. You have sounded the alarm and stood by Buddhism and its representatives, such as myself and others who were with me. You all have made this possible. The philosophy here is evil rises when good people do nothing. And I've seen a lot of that over my 10 years as a monk. And what brings me joy is focusing on what went right. What brings me joy is focusing on all of you who joined me on this path, stood by me, next to me, with me at all times. And even though some of you could not be here physically with me, that you all just observed as much as you could. And when you realized you couldn't volunteer here, you digged into your bank account and said, "This is what I can contribute, and may you have all of the resources that you need to battle the ignorance, the greed, and the anger and hatred in the world, so that other people can join you on the path of Dhamma, on the path of enlightenment." And that was just amazing. That was just amazing. Uh, the TikTok thing is going to end in 10 minutes, so I'm just going to hit another one here so I can continue. I wish they had like an hour. But thank goodness everything with TikTok is quite quick. 10 minutes. This is part 3 of the TikTok 10-minute. And so this should go to all of you. This should go to all of you. And something you cannot see from far away. Maybe a dig. Yeah, I show you guys closer here. Okay. It's really heavy, folks. This thing is like one of them things, one of them weights at, you know, how you like exercise at the gym. Yeah. So there are little diamonds on here, but they're not real diamonds. These are like CZs or just fake stones. Trust me. It looks expensive, but it's not. It's not expensive. Anyone can examine this. It'll be at my dad's office. Just so that you know it's not real gold. We can't touch real gold as monks anyways. These little diamonds, to me, what it means is that it's all of you who've contributed. This should go to all of you. Every time when you see a sports thing and they hold up the cup series or whatever, or someone wins the gold Olympic medal, you know, all of the team members come and they kind of put their hands on it together. And I know you all are across the world and watching all of this right now, but cheers to all of us. Cheers to all of you. I could have never made it without you. Buddhism would never stretch this long and this so intense. That punch is so intense that we did since I went, you know, live across social media since 2018. I want your hands on this one of these days. I want you to know what it feels like that you contributed, to know what it feels like to experience the lion's roar. In a deeper context, it's not just about this type of accomplishment, the lion's roar. It's also about being unshakable and unmoved by anything that is good or bad in the world, by praise and blame and the attacks of the world, the bows and arrows that will come towards your way, by and through the exposure of relationships, by and through the science of relationships that you will get yourself into, some of the mess that we humans get ourselves into, and what this teaching can do for you, and how this teaching can be a shield to protect you. May the Dhamma protect you. May the Dhamma guide you. And so I just want everyone to reflect on that. We have a handful of students that came back after from anywhere from months to years of taking a break and dealing with their own life. And I applaud them for their courage and resiliency in coming back, addressing deep-rooted issues, addiction, trauma, abuse, for example, taking their mental health and enlightenment very seriously. So it just brings great joy knowing that the program worked. To me, it would be described as easy because, I'm sorry, it has to be easy so that students of all across ages, anywhere from grade, even 8th graders can join this program, because the program needs to have language and books that are appropriate for at least an 8th grader, 7th grader. Well, now they're all smart anyway. So like 6th graders, they're all very smart. We Gen millennials, we had good wits, good type of intelligence in 6th grade. So the CBT program, rapid realization program, needed to be scientific. It needs to withstand the test of science. And that no one can argue that cognitive behavioral therapy is one of the most and is the most effective psychological uh, like talk therapy um, modalities used to treat a broad spectrum of mental health disorder, including schizophrenia. And when we talk about mental health, it's just states of mind to me. It doesn't mean that your diagnosis is you and your diagnosis is permanent, um, and that you're crazy or cuckoo for cocoa puffs. No, it just means that right now you're experiencing depression, anxiety, or whatever the issue may be. I assert that you can heal and get past it quite fairly quickly with the adoption of cognitive behavioral therapy and Buddhism joined together. In addition, sometimes some of you may need a licensed therapist to keep an eye on you and or psychiatrist to also aid in the coordinated care process, um, tertiary plans, coordinated plans so that you heal quick, fast, easy, and effective. So it's so I'm not there to assert like yeah, well my program is the best program and you don't need medicine. My program is superior and everybody else suck. No, no. There are complexities in mental health that requires a joint effort of everyone involved. The holy man, the therapist, the psychiatrist, the psychologist, just everybody involved to have peer-to-peer consultation on what's happening. Sometimes you have dual diagnosis, sometimes you have multi-axial diagnosis, which, goes back to the DSM-4. Nonetheless, now the DSM-5 text revisions and ongoing research, and the book just gets bigger. Um, so I'm just very jubilant or joyful to know that people come back because it worked. It worked. It worked for so long. It worked for so long. So many people achieved peace. And some of the direct families that required me to fly over to Ohio, California, Arizona, uh, Georgia, and applying this medicine, this everything that I know based upon my 19 years of clinical experience in social work to help them get better, to help them heal and cure. And when the phones don't ring and it hasn't rung, it hasn't rung. So I am assuming that all is well, because in the past it has rung before, and that means something is hitting the fan quite fairly quickly, and so I know when something is long lasting and is withstanding what is happening, and I'm just happy to report statistically that the teachings, the way how I administer the teaching, the way how I administer Buddhist psychotherapy is found to be effective and within from days to weeks and rarely months for people across the world. However, there's more work to be done. Just because declaring a Lion's Roar doesn't mean the work stops here. But right now, I just wanted to give a preliminary celebratory declaration and the start of it. Expect to see this statue out on the beach and expect to see students with me holding it and joining the celebration as we embrace the new year and trying to get past this 2024 thing and get ready for 2025. Whoever's going to be the leader and president of the United States, whoever's going to be the next congressman or senator, and whatever's going on. Whatever's going on, I don't really care because things are going to work itself out. It is. And whoever is going to hold office, and if they're going to piss people off, well, the people always win anyways. We, the people. So I don't have to get really all into that. Not, I, I don't get paid enough to get into that. I don't get paid at all. I'm a monk. So, let me see if I forget anything. For those of you who want to get on the CBT and study the life of Buddha, the door will be quite narrow. and um, the door may even close towards the end of the year, because you all know that I'm trying to go back for my master's degree um, next year, and I'm trying to work on my book, like I have been talking about for the past 4 years, just moaning and groaning about it. And people who have gone through my podcast on the Apple Podcast app realized that, I was working on my book. They're like, "Are you done with it yet? Can I have a copy?" And I'm like, "Well, you're getting a copy right now by being with me." And they just giggle and laugh. And truly, anyone in my presence, especially here locally, you're going through the book. I am the book. And I'm transmitting all of this to you, and you're understanding how I do things, so that you are also the living example, walking, talking book, to inspire other people. So I'm 37. I mean, who expects a 37 to publish books? Other people have done it, but I find it very challenging. Oh man, goodness. Okay, this is part 4 of the TikTok 10 minute. So I'm 37, who expects a Buddhist monk with so many programs to finish a book that is called Clinical Buddhism. It's just so dense, and the word clinical is in there, so it has to have citation, and it's gonna have all sorts of APA guideline stuff, and it's like a Bible, literally, in my head it's like a Bible. Um, so I've got everything here in my phone, the table of contents, how I broke it down into a science. I just want to just kick back a little bit, and just celebrate my 10 years of victory, with all of you, and just sit there and just work on the book, But you can tell that it's not really a vacation, but it is somewhat of a break from all the other stuff. So it's this celebratory announcement is to also shake everybody up. That if you need to come back to it, you have from now until the end of the year to come back to the program quickly. You also need to demonstrate your investment in the program. Um, you need to invest into your education, just like the rest of us who had to pay for our college, pay for our education and books and everything like that. Yeah, now it comes to the threshold that you have to financially invest into your education. You need to make a compelling evidence why you are a worthy student, period. Um, 10 years as a monk also changed me. It made me into a very good teacher. Um, you know, there were, well, let me just hold that. I don't want to give too much, because this is only preliminary. But however, when you do this for so long as a Theravadan Buddhist teacher, you're just able to see through people's excuses. And it gets old after a while. And my cousin now is a professor. He's 42 years old. I'm 37, and both of us sit together, and you have the unconventional professor here, and you have the actual conventional professor there. And my cousin is like frustrated, and he's like, "Yeah, this student sent me this email, and this is what's going on, and every week I get these emails." And I'm like, "Well, it seems like you need to throw the book at him. Your policy, zero, zero. You just need to tell them how it is. I, they paying to be in your class. If they're not doing the work, then they know where they're headed. Life's all about responsibility. Simply put, life's all about responsibility." And so I'm holding all everyone responsible, as it should. I've been a really nice monk for a very long time, and not asking for much. Keep you guys keeping a journal, reading, calling me. My phones, all 4 of them, in my possession, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, answering the phone call tirelessly at night, morning, night, when I'm taking a nap, when I'm waking up. And I've told you all that during certain counseling sessions, I passed out like 4 times during counseling sessions. Hell, they probably thought I was dead or had a heart attack. Then I have to call back and like, "I'm sorry, I was just really exhausted. Can you tell me that last 30 minutes? Can we hit the rewind button?" Right. So hopefully you all make me a saint if I actually die, you know? just in your ways. I don't really care if I'm a saint or not. Whoever makes me and put me up on a plaque or a wall or a statue. I've done my 8, hitting the gate. Um, but I'm just a visitor coming here to just trying to figure myself out, and that I did. I did, and turn around and teach you all the same and how I did it. And announcing to the world that yeah, I was this very troubled kid growing up, and then I went through all these phases and ticking off, pissing off law enforcement, knocking on my door every night, talking to my parents, returning me home, um, getting into fights and troubles and all that, resolving my own issues. And then once I have resolved my issues, emerging as a young teacher and then teaching you all how to achieve enlightenment. Um, we don't have to go too far about thinking about that type of enlightenment of what the Buddha described, but it's just like, get off the wheel of samsara, get off the wheel of the cycle of BS that you got yourself into. All of us have gotten ourselves into the cycle of BS, right? The drama. He said, she says, somebody cheated on somebody, somebody fell in love with somebody got knocked up by somebody got arrested, somebody went to drugs, alcohol, whatever. The cycle of BS. And somewhere down the line, I came along the way and I said, listen, life's too short for this cycle of BS. You got to get off this wheel. If you're waking up with back pain, you got to like do something different. So again, I just want everyone to reflect on this, the totality of what I've been trying to tell all of you. And the time is becoming shorter and shorter for all of us. And again, if I'm announcing a lion's roar now in this program, that means some changes are going to take place after Rinpoche's visit. And you all need to embrace yourself for such changes. So you need to act soon. You need to act soon and invest into yourself. I wanted to conclude tonight's talk with Professor Harari, Yuval Noah Harari, on YouTube. He is like one of the most enlightening thinkers and professor in academia right now who talks about AI. And he said this, he practices Vipassana meditation, Goenka style and techniques. I think he sits for like 2 hours every day. And he said, you can't be happy if you don't know yourself. You can't be happy if you don't know yourself. Think about that, folks. Sit with that for a second. Is that true? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. And then I would tell myself that I'm wrong for listening to Professor Harari, who have sold like 200. How many books did he sold? Like 250 million books? Yeah, hundreds of millions. That's last what I heard. Unless I'm getting too old that I'm having hearing problems. So you can check out him for a minute. But think about that. Who knows themselves? Who do you know who you are? I've worked with judges. I've worked with judges, lawyers, doctors. And even though they're technicians of law and technicians of medicine, they don't know who they are. They're very unhappy. They do very foolish things. They also get in trouble with the law. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, wow, the price of not knowing oneself. So I want everyone to reflect on that. Do you know who you are? Or you truly know who you are? Are you happy with who you are? Because AI is going to manipulate you, and AI is going to be friend with you and make you feel a certain way. AI is going to play all sorts of tricking games. I'm telling you, just put Noah Yuval Harari, and you'll understand where we are coming from. So, and don't try to run away from the pain with drugs and entertainment and strip clubs and all these other things that people are doing. And then you're like, well, I'll figure myself out when. The question becomes when. You're not getting any younger. When? That's my concern for you. It's always been my concern for you for the past decade. So again, just reflect on what I'm trying to say. And again, more information as it comes along, as I'm still recovering, but I've found enough strength after 3 weeks to talk to all of you. And I'm just, again, jubilant tonight and the forthcoming days to come is that the causes and condition is coming together for us to raise thousands of dollars. We need thousands of dollars for Rinpoche and myself, so that we have food, medicine, shelter, transportation. My trip to Arizona and California taught me just how much it costs to put gas in the tank. And I was sleeping in my car. I was sleeping in a budget rental company in my car in Oakland, California, where shootings or bullets are flying back and forth. I'm in my car sleeping, hoping a bullet didn't hit the car door and hit me, and so I can, go meet the Buddha in the morning. That's saving nickel and diming everything. So I know how much it's going to cost when Rinpoche gets here for us to travel to see some of you across the country. And I think that's going to be my mode of transportation is driving so that I can pick his brain. We both going to be picking our brain. Reconstructing years of our monastic training, years of meditation, years of teaching. So, and the last thing I wanted to say, this 10-minute TikTok thing is going to conclude. So let me start the last 10 minutes of the TikTok to be comprehensive. This is part 5. I believe this is part 5 for the 10-minute TikTok. In regards to Rinpoche being here, again, the totality of the donations determine how long he stays and where we go. You all know rental cars cost at least $50 a day. That's if we get lucky. Then the tolls, what also kills you. The tolls going across interstates, yeah. Wow. Holy cow. Them tolls ain't no joke. Them tolls are like, when you go through a budget company or any rental car company, the toll can be like $6, but they charge you like $26 for convenience fee. Then the hotel, or if we get lucky, we hope that you guys would invite us to your house, because that's cozy, warm, and saves everybody money, and save everybody that $200 hold at the hotel. We would be finding motels, not hotels, because that's not good. that's not good. The hotel. No, we need to nickel and dime everything. So the when Rinpoche gets here, I already know what the details of the cost is going to be because of my recent visits from Arizona to California. So I hope everyone would be sensitive to that fact and would take that under advisory and consideration when you guys are looking at your finances. Number one, your bills comes first, right? All of your requisites comes first. Okay, this is not that deep, right? I think that all of you would enjoy and truly learn coming to enlightenment quickly in the presence of Rinpoche and myself. But I don't want anyone to kill themselves, bend over backwards, sacrificing, you get what I'm saying? So I just want everyone to just think reasonably, 2 months, rental car, that takes days. We got to rest. And if we even have enough, then I'll probably hire a driver. So there's 3 of us. Because if I have to drive from Florida all the way to Virginia, it's going to take days. 2 days, perhaps, right? Got to rest. So, yeah, I just want everyone to take that into consideration. There's many viewers who will be taking this into consideration. And some of you know where I'm coming from. We got a lot of seasoned people, followers, and devotees. And we have young people too. So my talk needs to be broad and effective so that you all know where we're coming from. So yeah, I think that does it, which is the celebration of the Lion's Roar. And your questions will come in. And the last thing I forgot to say is it is not going to be recorded live. and it is going to be recorded, and it probably won't be published for years to come, because the point of my strategy is that you all need to be in our presence and not just watch this over live streaming, and you're not going to get anywhere. I know that. And you also have to question yourself, which is, yeah, I've been doing this online thing for a while, and yet we're back to square one. Tell me, what have you learned over the past decade of watching us do what we do without confronting in the presence of a teacher, without getting intimate with the teacher? Intimacy means to confront in the presence of another about your past, about your defilements, about what's going on, things that you hid. You're hiding from yourself, and you're hiding from one of us. You're hiding from the teacher sitting right here, you know? Um, and that's why, where are the books? I have thousands of dollars of books. I have 4 libraries, and I can dig into any one of these books all day, any day, just like the rest of the other monks who just randomly open a sutta, a discourse, 84,000 to choose from, um, and then just sit there and just blah 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 blah, blah, go into the Nikayas and expand on it. See the Dasa Tathagata Bala, 10 powers of the Buddha, for example. That's one of them. And then you have the universals, the Sabajita, Satarana, right? And then there's just so many Pali in here. Uh, say, oh, um, what is this? The Dhamma and the Abhidhamma, right? But so why did I choose Buddhist right? But so why did I choose Buddhist psychotherapy? Because giving a broad Dhamma talk doesn't really do much. I feel. Oh, I feel. I'm sorry. I should add. I feel. My opinion. Um, and I feel that by talking to you, getting to know you, who you are as a person, your suffering is different than Tom, Dick, and Harry and Karen. Everyone's suffering is unique and different, and it requires a monk of clinical background to understand you, and specifically just you right now in this moment. My enlightenment is with you in the moments that we talk, in the moments that you are confronting in the presence of a teacher. And I found that it's very enlightening for you and for me. And when you talk, I'm the student, because I'm learning, collecting data, and I'm understanding, and it helps me collectively understand the collective suffering. Your age, your cohort, your generation, of what's going on. There's a lot of workings in this head. Um, right. And, not to be the rest of the other monks who just opens up a random sutta and just be like, hey, you should know about this. And yeah, indeed, the suttas are very necessary. I mean, without the monks um, uh, that do that, you all wouldn't kind of like get a clue of what's the teachings. So I can't replace all of the other monks that have been doing the great work that they've been doing, and all of the other monks, can't replace what I have been doing. You need a joint collaborative uh, interplay, interworking, interdependence. You got this, you got that. So number one, you're not bored, and number two, you're learning, but also you need to put both of those hand in hand so that you get the most out of it and just resolve your suffering one last time. Don't get this to roll over in the next lifetime. It's achy. And I'm quite determined not to repeat some of this stuff in the next lifetime. Like another round of COVID? No. No, 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 no. Another round of COVID. No, 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 no. So anyways, yeah, I think that would be it. But yeah, someone asked me that, are you going to record it live? And I'm like, no, 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 no. We're not doing that anymore. We're not doing that anymore. So again, think about you and think about what you need to do and how you can help the arrival of Rinpoche coming in and meeting with us while the causes and conditions are what they are. I appreciate everyone taking the time and patience of listening all 50 minutes. And I'll be available for questioning, so please send your emails or messages to my either Facebook or email. The number one Vietnamese interpreter at Gmail. The number one Vietnamese interpreter at Gmail. So I can coordinate everything. Um, any and all donations that go to Rinpoche's trip, please put Tibet monk or Rinpoche, or so that I can, again, all my finances gotta be like on point, because I have told everyone about those policies. So excited to hear from all of you. Take care. More videos to come. Just give it a couple days so I'm still out there working as an interpreter, so I'm just moving very slow, very slow. So gotta take care of myself so I can take care of you guys when the time comes. May you all be well, be happy, be free, and always be healthy. I'd like to give my thanks in advance for all of those who will be making the contributions in the forthcoming days. Please reflect on your own liberation, freedom, and enlightenment, and resolving your suffering one last time. And just the stopping of the wheel of headaches in your life and reflecting samsara. So may you all realize the light of your own true nature. May you be healed and be a significant source of healing for other people. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. All right. Till the next time, folks, thank you so much for being patient. TikTok Live will remain live for a second. So, because they're like watching me trying to figure all these computers